Well, when we last spoke, you were sort of a little bit down. Things have turned around dramatically, haven't they?
On the individual note, they have. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fairly good last 2 weeks anyway, which has been really nice to touch the ball again. But the help from my teammates has been fantastic in that department, and a lot of the credit should be going to them.
Yeah, you said that. You said you tapped coaches and teammates, etc. I mean, was there a moment?
There was a lot of overwhelming support from a lot of past players, a lot of players that are still in the competition at the moment, that reached out to me, and I certainly felt that support, and I feel like it was a little bit of a weight off my shoulders, and I think I've been able to work through it a lot easier, knowing there's all that support around me, and being very grateful for that, and I guess it's shown on the field.
Was it a space you hadn't been to before in your football career?
Probably not on a week-to-week basis. I know there's been times throughout my career that I have been targeted by opposition teams, but certainly wasn't on a week-to-week basis. So it was something new for me, another area for my growth that I had to get better at, and I feel like I've been able to do that over the past 2 weeks, and now a mindset going into the game is I'll be expecting it every week, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, great, but I'll certainly be prepared for it every week now.
Teammates every week were coming in and saying that you hadn't changed, your attitude was still sensational, you're still a bigger pest around the club as ever, and you're still really lifting the vibe of the place. How hard is that to do when personally you're thinking, well, geez, it's not going well for me, but I need to be there for these younger guys? That's a credit to you, but how tough is that to put on that brave face when things personally aren't going as well as you'd like?
Yeah, it's difficult, but I guess it's not going to last forever. So I was able to put that aside and focus on what was best for the team. And if I felt like I could contribute to the team, whether that not be on game day, even though I would have loved it to have been due to a performance issue, then I felt like I was still doing my role, and I'd come in on Monday, I'd review my game, talk to coaches, seek advice, seek help, and I think that was the best way to lead, was to show the boys that it doesn't matter, I can still do a lot of things off the field and try and get my game to the standard it needed to be, and I feel like I've certainly done that, and although it was difficult on field, I knew it wasn't going to last forever.
We had Simon Black telling us on Triple M Footy that he got around it by, he used to watch a lot of videos of the taggers that he thought were going to, and he'd write notes on how they were going to do this, how they were going to do that, which is sort of almost the extreme end. How far did you go in your search to answers and the people that you spoke to? Where did you find solutions?
Well, I guess we looked at the team we were playing on the weekend and who could potentially be it, but I guess every team seems to be doing it different these days. Didn't really expect it on the weekend to be Mitch Honeychurch, to be honest, either. So we kind of just more focused on what I was able to do and what else that my teammates were able to do to help me through the situation. And no matter who the tagger would be, we just tried to make it a very difficult day for them as well. And then on the flip side, try and play to my strengths and work really hard to get to as many contests as possible. But also do the team acts that probably don't get recognised, but the tackles and all the pressure stuff that actually allows the team to play really well at the same time. So kind of shift the focus off the touches and goals and everything like that, and kind of just went back to the meat and potatoes, mate, to be honest, and just tried to get the grind out and lay as much pressure and help the team out as much as I could.
You found the formula, do you think?
I think it's going to be week to week, to be honest, mate. I really do, and depending on who we play, of course, but I feel like with a mindset going into the game that it'll probably more than likely happen. I feel like I'm equipped with that now, and if things aren't going my way, I feel like I've certainly got the tools to at least halve it or help out the team in other areas, which is a great mindset to have going in each week.
You talk about having that mindset now that it'll probably happen. Were you surprised in the first few rounds then that you weren't thinking, oh, I'm going to get targeted or I'm going to get tagged?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess the taggers sort of went out of the game there for a little bit, so it was a little bit surprising that it was happening weekly. So I guess I really wasn't prepared for that, and I guess when it did happen, I certainly didn't have the tools to be able to cope with it. And I feel like now with all the research I've done and past and still present players helping me out and supporting me, certainly feel a lot better for it.
You're going to get offended now if someone doesn't come to you?
Well, that was exactly what one of the great players told me, is that you should be offended if someone doesn't sit with you. So that's just helps with my mindset as well, to be honest. So yeah, a little bit.
You got Clarko this weekend. He's obviously one of the great coaches in the comp. You'd expect him to be putting a bit of homework and a bit of time into you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. He's a mastermind of the game, and he's also got me young mate Luke Hodge to worry about as well, I reckon. So, yeah, look, whatever happens, to be honest. I'm not overly worried about it. We'll just prepare like we will and try and get our team process right as best as we can. We're very close at the moment. We just got to keep grinding away.
How present's that going to be? I know it's a big thing for the media to focus on during the week. Hodgie coming up against his former side, 4 premierships, Norm Smith captain, all that kind of stuff. Internally, is it get a mention for you guys, or it's just business as usual?
Oh, I think he'll certainly get a run at some stage, but Luke's wise enough, he's experienced enough. He's been through a lot of situations in football. I don't think he's going to get overawed by the occasion by any means. I think he'll just go about it the way he does, and sure there'll be instances in the game where it's a bit fiery, but I'm sure he'll be composed enough to deal with it.
Has he got a list of ex-teammates that you think he's going to try and maybe knock off at any point in time?
Yeah, potentially. We won't go into names, but nah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it'd be always great to pick his brain about little stories that you might be able to put blokes off on the mark with, or whatever the situation may be. But yeah, we'll certainly pick his brain and see what he has to offer.
Because he'll obviously give a lot in that sense. I mean, all jokes aside, the game of footy to be won, and you're probably sick of the term honourable losses, and you've got a guy with incredible insight, and Fags as well, but obviously Hodgie very recently will be able to pick that side apart. So I'd imagine that'll be a big part of the week too, getting his view on how they're going about it and how to best beat Hawthorn.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's played with all those players for a number of games, so he certainly knows all the areas of the ground where blokes are dominant, not so dominant, and we'll certainly be trying to exploit that. So it'd be, yeah, we'll certainly be picking his brain, Fags as well. I know he still keeps in contact with a lot of them, so he'll certainly know with Danny Daly, our tactician, exactly the right process to try and knock them off, no doubt about that.
And the right sledges by the sounds of it.
Yes, that's a certain.
You haven't beaten them in your time here, Zork, Hawthorn, so why will this weekend be different?
I feel like as a list we're getting our process right, and I feel like that on the weekend, although it was only we got beaten, we feel like it was all instances that we certainly could have controlled, or we could have handled a lot better. So I feel like we're learning from our losses every week, which is really important. It's no good losing and then not learning anything from it. So we've certainly felt like we've learned a lot from the weekend's game. And I feel like we're in a really good position as a football club. The process is right. Everything seems to be going for us. We just need that win. And I feel like this weekend we'd love to put our best foot forward. And if we're in a position to win the game, I feel like what we have learned over the past few weeks with our close losses, we're certainly in a better position to deal with it now.
So what's the main thing you have learnt, do you think, in those ones?
Well, we just feel like in pressure situations we're probably not doing it on purpose, but we feel like we're probably just going outside the team a little bit and trying to do it all ourselves a little bit too much. So that's one thing we focus on, as one of our trademarks is to be selfless, and we certainly feel like in those pressure situations, although no one means to do anything wrong, we feel like we've probably just stepped outside those lines. So we'll tighten that up this weekend, and we'll have a really good week on the track, and hopefully it will correlate into the game. So when we are in those pressure situations, that we can handle it a lot better.
Is that just because you're anxious?
It could be. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone wants to win. That's what I mean. I don't think anyone's doing it on purpose. There's just always seems to be better options that we could have used, and when we play really selfless team football, we're able to score really quickly. And I think that's one thing that we reiterated this morning, is that when we do that, we can score and match it with the best teams. So something we need to tidy up in our game, and we're certainly going to be trying very hard to do that, and I'm sure we will get it right.
A lot more efficient going inside forward 50 this time. I think you're almost you had scoring shots from about half your entries, which been this year you've been well down on what you've been able to get out of going inside 50, and pressure was up as well. That's been a big focus the last few weeks.
It has been, yeah. I think our pressure on the ball has been really good the last few weeks. We've had a massive emphasis on it. It's certainly the way that we want to play, and I think we've been rewarded going inside 50. Blokes have taken their shots, although we had a lot of out of bounds on the fall and a lot of missed shots on the weekend. We're still in a position to get those scoring shots, which is really pleasing. And I think Collingwood, we had 50 odd inside 50s on the weekend. We had 49, so we're certainly getting the looks. We've just got to finish off, and I'm sure it'll come.